Stress. It's a word we hear and use almost daily, often without fully grasping its profound impact on our bodies and minds. Stress is our body's ancient alarm system, designed for emergencies, a survival mechanism honed over millennia. When your brain senses a threat, be it a wild animal, a true life-or-death situation, or a relentless inbox bursting with emails demanding your immediate attention, it triggers the fight-or-flight response, an automatic cascade of physiological changes. Adrenaline and cortisol flood your system, powerful hormones surging through your veins, giving you a burst of energy and focus, sharpening your senses and preparing you for action. This is great for short-term danger, a fleeting moment of crisis, but in modern life, stressors are constant, a never-ending barrage of demands and obligations. Deadlines, looming large and ever-present, bills, piling up and creating financial strain. Family, with its joys and challenges, can also be a source of stress, and digital noise, the constant stream of information and notifications vying for our attention. Our stress response stays switched on, sometimes for weeks, months, or even years. The result? Your body is bathed in stress hormones, constantly bombarded by cortisol and adrenaline, leading to high blood pressure, putting a strain on your cardiovascular system, tense muscles, causing aches and pains throughout your body, digestive issues, disrupting your gut health and causing discomfort and poor sleep, leaving you feeling exhausted and unable to function at your best. Mentally, you get brain fog, making it difficult to think clearly, trouble concentrating, struggling to focus on even the simplest tasks, and mood swings, experiencing a roller coaster of emotions. Chronic stress drains your energy and joy, leaving you on edge, irritable, and overwhelmed. We often accept these symptoms as normal, a part of everyday life, but they're signals that our bodies are struggling, desperately trying to cope with the constant pressure. The real cost of modern stress is how it quietly erodes our well-being, slowly chipping away at our health and happiness. Recognizing these signs is the first step to breaking the cycle, acknowledging that something needs to change. And as you'll see, the solution can be surprisingly simple, often requiring small adjustments to our daily routines. Sometimes it starts with a glass of water, a simple act of self-care to rehydrate and calm your nerves. We talk about mindfulness, exercise, and therapy to manage stress, but we often overlook a basic, powerful tool: water. Your brain is about 75% water, and even mild dehydration can impact its performance. Here's the twist: stress and dehydration fuel each other. Stress makes you lose more water, and dehydration amplifies your stress response. When you're stressed, your heart races, you breathe faster, and your body burns through more water. If you don't replace those fluids, you slip into dehydration without noticing. Meanwhile, dehydration itself triggers cortisol, the stress hormone. So if you're already stressed and dehydrated, you're doubling down on anxiety and fatigue. It's a vicious cycle, one that's easy to break if you know where to look. Sometimes the missing piece isn't a new habit, but a forgotten one. Start with water. Stress doesn't just feel draining, it literally depletes your body's water. When you're under pressure, your adrenal glands release hormones that affect fluid balance. Prolonged stress can disrupt these hormones, making you lose more salt and water through urination. You also breathe faster and sweat more, losing even more fluid. Add in habits like skipping water or reaching for coffee, and dehydration becomes almost inevitable. Caffeine can make you lose even more water, especially if you don't balance it with plain water. In busy, stressful moments, self-care, including hydration, is the first thing we forget. But neglecting water only makes stress harder to handle. Remember, your body needs water most when you're under pressure. Dehydration itself is a stressor, a subtle but significant burden on your body and mind. It's easy to overlook, but its effects can ripple through your day, impacting everything from your focus to your mood, even before you consciously feel thirsty. That's right. Your body is already reacting to a lack of fluids before that familiar signal of thirst kicks in. Just a 1 to 2% drop in body water can impair focus, making it harder to concentrate on the task at hand. You might find yourself rereading the same sentence multiple times, memory leading to those frustrating tip-of-the-tongue moments, or difficulty recalling important details, and mood. Dehydration can be a sneaky culprit behind those unexplained feelings of irritability or sadness. Your brain needs water to send signals. It's the essential medium for communication between neurons. Without it, things go haywire. Cognitive functions become sluggish, and mental clarity diminishes. The body senses this imbalance, recognizing the water shortage as a threat to its optimal functioning. and releases more cortisol, the primary stress hormone, in an attempt to compensate, making you feel anxious or irritable. This heightened state of alert can make it difficult to relax and focus. Imagine prepping for a big presentation. The pressure is already on, forgetting to drink water, amidst the flurry of activity and last-minute preparations, and suddenly feeling foggy and tense. The added stress of dehydration only exacerbates the situation. That's dehydration amplifying your stress, turning a manageable challenge into an overwhelming ordeal. Your body can't tell the difference between psychological and physical stress, it just reacts. It triggers the same cascade of hormonal responses regardless of the source of the stress. By staying hydrated, you remove a hidden source of anxiety, preventing that unnecessary surge of cortisol, and give your brain what it needs to perform. Hydration is the foundation for optimal cognitive function. Don't let thirst sneak up, catching you off guard and derailing your focus, and sabotage your day. Proactive hydration is key to maintaining peak performance. Hydration is a simple way to break the stress cycle, interrupting the feedback loop of dehydration and anxiety. It's an easy win in a world full of challenges, a small act of self-care that can have a profound impact. Start with a sip, make hydration a conscious and consistent habit. Knowing the link between stress and hydration is powerful, acting on it is even better. Start your day with a big glass of water to shake off morning dehydration. Stack hydration onto existing habits. Drink before meals, after bathroom breaks, or alongside your coffee. Use a water bottle you like and keep it nearby. If you need reminders, set phone alerts or use hydration apps. Water-rich foods like watermelon, cucumbers, and oranges also help. Soups and broths count too. The goal isn't to force gallons, but to make hydration easy and automatic. Small, steady habits add up. Make water a natural part of your routine, not a chore. Your mind and body will thank you. We chase complex solutions for stress, but sometimes the answer is simple. Hydration is a foundation for mental and emotional health. It's your first line of defense in a demanding world. Staying hydrated helps manage stress hormones, sharpens focus, and steadies your mood. It's a small act with big impact. Next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, have I had any water today? Recognize the link, and you gain a tool you can use anytime. Don't wait for thirst or fatigue. Be proactive. Pick up a glass of water now. With every sip, you're supporting your mind and body. Build resilience one glass at a time. Sometimes the simplest step is the most powerful. It was a Tuesday, and by 3:15 the afternoon was really starting to drag. The initial energy of the morning had long since faded and the weight of the day was pressing down. I was buried in paperwork, a seemingly endless stack of reports and documents demanding my attention. My mind felt foggy, each sentence blurring into the next, and my patience was wearing thin. After a string of back-to-back meetings, each one more intense than the last, and a particularly tough consultation that required all my focus and problem-solving skills, I felt that heavy late-afternoon exhaustion settle in, that familiar slump that threatened to derail the rest of my workday. It was a physical and mental weariness that seemed to seep into my bones. Like many in that situation, I instinctively reached for my phone, hoping a quick scroll through social media or a news site would provide a momentary distraction and a much-needed mental break. But instead of relief, my head throbbed, a dull ache that intensified with each passing minute. My thoughts felt scattered and disjointed, making it even harder to concentrate on the tasks at hand. And I considered another coffee, the siren call of caffeine promising a temporary boost, but hesitated, knowing the inevitable crash that would follow. That's when my colleague, Sarah, a sharp-eyed nurse known for her insightful observations, paused at my door, sensing my struggle. With genuine concern in her voice, she asked, "Sanjay, have you had any water today?" A simple question, but one that cut through the fog of my exhaustion. I realized. Coffee, yes. Several cups, in fact, fueled by the morning's demands. Juice, maybe a glass with breakfast, but water? Not at all. The thought hadn't even crossed my mind amidst the chaos of the day. In the rush of meetings, deadlines, and urgent requests, I'd completely neglected the most basic human need, hydration. Feeling a bit foolish, I got up from my desk, walked over to the water cooler and filled a glass to the brim. I drank, not necessarily out of overwhelming thirst, but more as an experiment, curious to see if it would make any difference. And then, I had another glass, just to be sure. Back at my desk, settling back into my chair, I began to notice a gentle shift in my state. The mental fog that had been clouding my thoughts began to lift, the throbbing headache eased its grip, and my thoughts grew clearer and more focused. It wasn't the intense, jittery jolt of a caffeine rush, but a subtle, more grounded clarity, a gentle reawakening of my mental faculties. In that moment, I finally understood a connection, a fundamental truth about my own well-being. I'd known in theory, intellectually understood, but never truly felt in my own body. How easily we overlook the importance of simple hydration, even as it quietly and profoundly shapes our energy levels, our cognitive function, and our overall focus. Sometimes the simplest fix, the most obvious solution, is the very one we tend to miss in our complex and demanding lives. That day, water, plain and simple, was my unexpected and surprisingly effective remedy. It made me rethink my entire approach to handling stress, fatigue, and the inevitable dips in energy that come with a demanding workday. And it all started with a single, seemingly insignificant and often overlooked question from a caring colleague.